All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday evening. I know me and Phil, we're gonna figure out a time for this, like an actual time slot. I promise. Like once we
Yeah.
get there, we are going to get there. But right now, we're not there, and we're here, and that's okay because we made it. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope
Yes.
everybody is having a wonderful Saturday evening. My name is Billy TKO. I'm joined by my great friend, my dog, Phil Ouimette. Phil, how are you?
What's going on, my man? Yeah, trust me, guys. We'll figure this out. Don't worry about that. Everything will happen in due time. But we're here to talk about the world of professional wrestling that was this week. And man, oh man, do we have some things to talk about. I'm doing well over on my end. I hope my friend Billy is doing well over on his end as well. And we got some great people up in the chat as always when it comes down to the audience and what we could possibly see for the rest of this WrestleMania season, man. We endured ourselves the 3 hours of television on Friday, just literally yesterday, and it was the time. That is the nicest way that I could possibly put it. But I
Yeah,
mean, other than Friday Night SmackDown, we do got some other things to talk about, which
for sure.
was really hot and heavy. And I'm sure we'll get into all of that. But guys, we appreciate you as always for tuning on in. Hit the like button if you are ever so inclined to do so. And let's get this thing started, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So I think the best thing to do is to jump immediately into things. And obviously, we started off this week. This week there were no PLEs or anything like that that transpired. So we kicked off the week with no other than good old fashioned Monday Night Raw. WWE
Absolutely.
here to lead the charge per usual into the wrestling week. And here's the thing: Monday Night Raw, not a bad show, not the greatest show, but not bad. There
Right.
were some things that were very fun throughout the show. Some mentions here. We had Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. That was really cool. That segment that they had on Monday Night Raw. Then we also had Oba Femi and Brock. We had a little standoff between them, and Oba getting the best of him, and we'll get into that momentarily. But we also had Roman Reigns and CM Punk, which we'll probably finish things off with that. But to really start things off, I mean, man, Brock and Oba, man, talk about it for a second, Phil. That is starting to look like the best thing on the WrestleMania card right now, in my personal
Absolutely.
opinion.
I freaking love everything that they're doing with Brock and Oba, man. They are truly making Oba Femi look like the
Hmm.
absolute superstar that he is. And I told you guys, I wasn't telling you guys, I was just ultimately trying to prepare you guys and ultimately trying to show that Brock Lesnar, through all the faults that he has, knows exactly what he is doing. And he has done absolutely tremendous work with Obafemi up until this very point. He's made him look strong. He's made him look credible. And I can't fault you for feeling that way in terms of like how you feel about this WrestleMania build, man. This has probably been one of the more credible
Hmm.
feuds that we
Hmm.
have seen throughout this entire WrestleMania build. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we actually got in store for whatever night Oba and Brock happens to be on. Personally, I would kick it off at night two, but I mean, we'll see where
Yeah,
it goes
yeah, man.
in
It's
terms of the
actually
order.
it's actually really interesting because Oba and Brock, you have to understand, like, I'm saying, like, it's starting and it's feeling like it's gearing up to be the best thing. The best, at least it has the best build right now, in my
Right.
personal opinion, just based off the assumption that these are two dudes who have never really clashed off against one another. Um, I've seen a lot of people on the internet, they've compared it to like what Omos and Brock Lesnar did, but I
Yeah.
think where people misinterpret this is, while Omos was great, nobody thought Omos was the next big thing. You see,
Right.
with this build, it's starting to feel like Oba Femi is the next big thing. This isn't just somebody that Brock Lesnar is going to mow over, even under the assumption that, let's say, Oba Femi lost. Oba Femi doesn't lose or he won't lose comfortably. Like, it won't just be a 1, 2, 3, it's
Right. Yeah.
over.
No.
If he, under the circumstance that he did lose, it would be a very fashionable loss. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Obafemi should lose. I'm not saying that by any stretch. Obafemi needs to win this match.
Absolutely.
But that was always the difference between Omos, per se, and Obafemi. Obafemi feels like a star. When Obafemi stepped out 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw 2 weeks ago, and he powerbombed Brock Lesnar, that was a statement. That wasn't just, oh, look at what I'm doing. No, it was, you are going to watch me from the moment that you lay eyes on me until I am done with what I'm doing here. And Obafemi is very special in this industry, and he's letting you know that he's very special. He's also letting you know that, hey, Brock, he's on his way out. I'm stepping up. Don't you worry. I got it. I'll be the guy. I'll be the guy that transcends this company forward after he's gone. So this is feeling really important without these two dudes ever clashing against one another. And I think that's the thing, right? Is that Obafemi and Brock Lesnar feels fresh.
Right.
You know, let's talk about it for a second. Freshness is something that is super needed in WWE right now. We've seen Roman Reigns and CM Punk square off before, maybe not at the level we're about to, but we've seen it. You know, we've seen Seth Rollins tangle up with so-and-so. Like, these are things that we've seen. Oba and Brock is fresh. And when WWE creates freshness and adds it to their show, you get outcomes like this. And it's outstanding. And it needs to happen more often than it actually currently is happening.
And I did not expect, truthfully, I did not expect that we were going to be getting 2 weeks in a row where Oba was going to be getting the one over on Brock Lesnar. I thought that this was either going to be somewhat of a back and forth type of battle, or at some point down the line, Brock would just get his ultimate comeback and he would just look strong in all of this. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't look strong. It's Brock freaking Lesnar. Of course, he's going to look strong, and no matter what he is going to be doing. But, you know, they have really made Obafemi look like the guy that is ultimately going to be the one that ultimately tops Brock Lesnar at the end of all of this. Now, I completely agree with you in a sense that he needs to win this match. I mean, I really do feel like it's ultimately just needed at this point. But I mean, there's so much more left to be told with this, and we got 3 weeks to go. So I mean, who knows what's really going to be happening for the rest of all of this? I'm just sitting back, relaxing, and letting these two men, I should say, take me for the ride that we are about to be on. So,
well, it's really funny. It's really funny because neither of them have actually like spoken to each other.
Yeah, no,
like
we haven't had even one word yet.
No, there hasn't. I mean, granted, Paul Heyman came out and talked a little bit, but like Paul Heyman does that, you know what I mean? But Oba and Brock personally have never even spoke. Like, Oba came out there, power bombed him, match is official.
Yeah,
that's the type of stuff that we want to see. That is the type of stuff that us as fans enjoy. When you're doing something immediately and you're making it known, you're making a statement, and you're setting it in stone. WWE has done a really good job when it comes down to Oba and Brock. There is no denying that. I think it's just a factual statement at this point that no matter the feelings on Brock Lesnar, which we will continuously, speak on because it needs to be spoken about, and, human aside, WWE has delivered two gentlemen that know what they are doing inside of the pro wrestling ring. Yeah. And you are seeing it firsthand. And that's why somebody like myself and somebody like Phil are excited for this match. I know it's messed up, but right now it's kind of like you're in the place where it's like, okay, I don't, because again, I'm not like the biggest Brock Lesnar fan, but it's like, okay, he's here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to turn off the TV. I enjoy pro wrestling. So, okay, I'll watch this for whatever it's worth. And WWE is delivering with it. And that's the most important thing here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Oba and Brock, it really is stacking up to be like the best thing going into WrestleMania, at least with how it's being built. And then, the other thing that I wanted to talk about that is also included in this match was that video package that they delivered. That video package, I don't know what was so cool about it, but like when you seen the wording pop up, you had like Oba step through the wording and then Brock step through the wording. Like it was so cinematic and so simple at the same time that it fired me up for their match at WrestleMania. Like you said, truth be told, I hear you on night 2. I think that should be the thing that kicks off WrestleMania. If it's not going to it should kick it off. Night 1, you are getting immediate action. This is what we have in store because we obviously know it's not going to main event, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. But the least that you can do is make this, because in my eyes, how I would have it, I would have Brock and Oba, night 1, kickoff. Jacob and Drew, night 2, unsanctioned, kickoff. That's how I would order it.
That's exactly what I probably would do too, but it's just reverse. I would honestly I honestly would kick things off with Drew and Jacob night 1, only because for me, when it comes down to it, this feud has been built up for months. The whole Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu thing. And this is an unsanctioned match that we're talking about, obviously. So obviously you can't there are a lot of rumors and innuendos that apparently like we were going to be getting some sort of Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania this year. I don't know.
I know a lot of people were talking about it.
That probably is not going to happen now at this point. Because if anything, if there was any feud that was going to warrant possibly a Hell in a Cell, this probably would have been it, considering everything that's happened. But they went with an unsanctioned match, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I think ultimately them kicking off just WrestleMania as a whole would be a really good way to just get things kicked off. And then when you get to night 2, which is more often than not, depending on whoever you talk to, is quote unquote the bigger or better night, depending on however the card stacks up.
Yeah.
Like I want to put more of the big marquee type of matches, which to me is Brock and Oba. So you would put that on.
That's fair.
For me.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't hate that. And I can definitely see where you're coming from in that situation. But yeah, man, I mean, Oba and Brock is great. But obviously some more things transpired on Monday Night Raw. Another thing that we kind of seen transpire was, the Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman situation. We seen Seth Rollins get arrested. Yes. Yeah. Brother is in a jail cell somewhere. At least he should be. The way that he hit my GOAT, Paul Heyman, sickening. Not a fan. Paul Heyman threw the mic at him. And I'm here to tell you, it is so deserved. Paul had every right to throw that microphone because screw Seth Rollins. Everybody knows I am a actual Seth Rollins hater. I've been a Seth Rollins hater since he cashed in that Money in the Bank briefcase on CM Punk way back when. And now you're talking about my GOAT. My GOAT is Paul Heyman. I've had a conversation with Paul Heyman. That is my GOAT. And you're telling me that you're out here trying to beat up, you're stomping them, you're doing all this and that. Selfish. But I digress. So Seth Rollins comes in, he punches Paul Heyman, knocks him down, and finally he gets arrested. He gets sent out of the arena, and this is obviously now, and I think it's almost set in stone, leading to Braun Breaker. I think that's kind of the clarification that we're going to run with here, is that WWE, knowing that rumors had started coming out that he was going to be at the PC, he was going to be, he's on the timetable to return. I think we're starting to see that kind of unfold on TV. Obviously, WWE is not going to have Seth Rollins miss WrestleMania, and Braun Breaker. It's starting to look like there's even potential that Phil, your thing comes true, where that man unmasks himself.
That man unmasks himself as one of the putties in the ring, and we get Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. It just felt so right for me with everything when it came down to just all the masked men that are a part of the world of WWE nowadays.
My God.
And it could just possibly happen, man. Look, at the end of the day, Paul Heyman was acting in self-defense.
Correct.
He was acting in self-defense.
Correct.
He threw that microphone at Rollins, and then Rollins had to do what he had to do, I guess. But the thing is, Paul Heyman was saying some crazy ass stuff.
Hold on. Let me justify my friend real fast. Hold on. He was saying crazy stuff. Have you ever said some crazy shit? You said some crazy shit, right?
I mean, we all have.
Do you get beat up? Do you get beat up when you say crazy shit?
No.
No, exactly. Thank you. My point. Point justified. You don't put your hands on somebody.
You're talking about somebody's kid, though. You're talking about somebody's daughter who realistically can't even defend herself because she is too young yet. At the end of the day, you can't talk about somebody going after somebody's daughter, and then not only that, but going after somebody's wife and saying that she'll sleep with the entire rest of the locker room while you're rotting in a jail cell. You can't be saying that stuff, bro.
Here's the thing. That sounds like a Seth Rollins problem. Seth Rollins has to figure that out. That sounds like a him problem.
I mean,
come on.
I guess it depends on how you look at things, bro. But I mean,
Paul, you need to get it together, brother. I'm struggling defending you right now.
Dude, come on. It's really, really not that good of a look. I saw a lot of people kind of in all fairness, really trying to go at Paul Heyman for saying the kind of stuff that he did say in that promo, which I mean, I understand too.
Yeah, dude, here's the thing. Yeah.
But this is pro wrestling, and at the end of the day, this is Paul Heyman. I expect this kind of stuff coming out of Paul Heyman because at the end of the day, Paul Heyman wouldn't be Paul Heyman if he wouldn't say the good things that he said.
Correct. Correct, bro. So, I mean, here's the thing. All BS aside. Yeah, no, of course, I understand where people are coming from, where they're saying those are the wrong things to say, et cetera, et cetera. That's fair. But like you said, this is Paul Heyman. This is who he's always been. And here's the thing. People need to remember, Paul Heyman probably ran that by Seth Rollins. Let's be honest. Yeah, he ran that by Seth, got the clarification, got told, yeah, you're good to say it. If it were that serious, I'm here to tell you, WWE, I don't think would have actually allowed it. If Seth was like, no, I don't want this, then they wouldn't have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all BS aside, Seth Rollins, it is looking like he is gearing up to face Braun at WrestleMania, which will be a really solid. I think that'll be really good. I think that'll be really fun. No matter how WWE does it, they don't even necessarily need Braun for the build. Just having Paul Heyman there in itself is great. And Paul Heyman's delivering the things that he's delivering. I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it. But more importantly than anything, we had the main event, which featured no other than Phil's favorite, a face-off between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So just a little backstory, everybody. Phil called me. He said, bro, we're getting the same bullshit that we got. He said they're doing it again this week. He said they're facing off against this week. I said, okay. So we seen them face off, and this time CM Punk is the antagonizer. He is no longer being antagonized. He is doing the antagonizing. So CM Punk goes out there after talking to Jimmy Uso, who then told, CM Punk, hey, watch yourself, Jey Uso, he is
on a warpath right now.
He's on a warpath right now. You don't know what he's going to do. So we get out to the ring. CM Punk said, yeah, all that shit that Jimmy just said to me backstage? Don't give a shit.
I do not care. I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm CM Punk.
I'm CM Punk, and Jimmy Uso, what brother is that? Yeah, I'm not listening to shit he just said to me.
What is Jay going to do? Yeet me to death? Nah. We'll be fine.
Phil is my GOAT. Phil is my GOAT. Phil Brooks is the greatest of all time, because what do you mean Jey Uso's going to yeet me to death?
I mean, that's basically who he is. He is a yeet merchant at this point.
At this point, yeah. But he has stopped. Let's call it like it is.
Because the fans have stopped. You hear anybody yeeting in the crowd nowadays? No, because they're tired of this BS. And the fact of the matter is, dude, is that we keep getting this, the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. We haven't gotten a different result in any of this. We haven't. The fact of the matter is that they say the exact same stuff every single week. We are using the exact same graphic now each and every single week, because the graphic for this week's face-to-face is the exact same graphic that we get last week. They're under one roof. Of course they are. Because they're going to be in the exact same segment, and because they're going to say the exact same thing. So it ain't going to be anything different.
I disagree. I actually feel like because of the things that transpired this past week, where, to finish off, just to let everybody know.
Yes.
So we would see Jey Uso come out, and Jey Uso obviously was on a warpath. He was doing just that. And CM Punk actually had challenged.
This segment was good, all intents and purposes. It was a really good segment.
It was a good segment. So Jey Uso is looking at him. CM Punk tells him, he said, "You never actually got your rematch for the title. Let's do it right here. I'm not in the clothes, whatever." So they kind of move past that, because out comes Jimmy Uso, and he's trying to calm his brother down. And he looks at CM Punk. He says, "Hey, man, it has nothing to do with you, kind of leave out of it and whatever." Out comes Roman Reigns, and Roman looks at both Jimmy and Jey. He said, "Respectfully, get your brother and get out of my ring."
Yeah.
And CM Punk was like backed up in the turnbuckle, and CM Punk said some sly remark, and I believe the remark was, "You need to get him," or something like that. I can't remember the actual wording of it off the top of my head, but it immediately caused Jey to snap. Now, Jey would then go forward and attack CM Punk, but he ended up getting hit with the microphone, and then Roman Reigns would Superman punch him, and it felt like that's where things were going to stop until what happened outside of the ring, and this is the most important part of the night. Outside of the ring, we would actually see Jey Uso tell Roman, and this is in quote, he said, "Joe, you know what to do. Smash him." He called him by his real name, and sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. Roman Reigns would immediately smash CM Punk. He speared him in the center of the ring. He went out, he shield bombed him. It reminded me a lot of old 2021 Roman Reigns. Now, before I have you go, Phil, I just want to mention that this is one of the most interesting parts of the night, because Roman Reigns taking orders from anybody is interesting within itself, and no matter what the level. Now, I know a lot of people have kind of come out there and said, like, "Oh, this is just Jey Uso reminding Roman Reigns who he is." And it's like, hold on. Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. Why does Roman Reigns need to be reminded who he is? The only reason Roman Reigns would need to be reminded who he is because he is not the same Roman Reigns. Therefore, Roman Reigns no longer has that kind of aura that he once had around him, and he can easily be manipulated by somebody like Jey Uso. There's a bigger play here at the end. I know a lot of people don't want to believe it, but the bigger play here is that somebody is telling Jey Uso to get in the head of Roman Reigns, and it's working, because at the end, we would see CM Punk, "I'm not the one who needs help," after just being put through a table. Okay, what's really going on? What's really happening? Is Roman Reigns still the tribal chief, or is there actually somebody else that sits at the head of the table? Quote unquote, excuse me, not quote unquote, but by the way, there always has been. There has always been a real head of the table in this Samoan dynasty. By the way, it's not Roman Reigns. By the way, it's not Jimmy Uso. It's not Zilla Fatu. It's not Jacob Fatu. None of them are the tribal chiefs. Hell, it's not even your boy Solo Sikoa. Although, by the way, love Solo Sikoa. Dude's great. It's The Rock. Let's just call it like it is. It's always been The Rock. He is the head of the table. He is the one who everybody answers to. Even Roman Reigns. And then, Phil, I'm sorry. One last thing before I go.
You're good. Go for it, man. Go with this rant. I like it.
One last thing. This one sets me off because I see people in the comments section. Oh, man. If Roman loses at WrestleMania, it's his third WrestleMania in a row, and it's going to be bad. You sound so dumb. So dumb. John Cena lost like 7. What did it do to John Cena?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing happened to John Cena. If Roman Reigns loses 3 WrestleManias in a row, guess what? It's probably to push the business forward. Wow, can you believe that? Well, Billy, how does CM Punk winning at WrestleMania push the business forward? I don't know. CM Punk shows up on a weekly basis. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
What kind of revelation are we talking about here?
What
man?
are we talking
That's
about here? Yeah, bro, CM Punk shows up on the show. He's defending the championship. Roman is going on Jimmy Fallon. And yeah, sure, Roman wants to be the bigger star. Great. He always will be. But CM Punk's there. He's doing the work. Come on. What are we even talking about? If Roman Reigns loses, fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is kind of like water off a duck's back at that point. Like, it really wouldn't mean a thing. But I will say, like I said, through all the faults that I may have with the repetitive face-to-face confrontations that we do have here with Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and trust me, with 3 weeks left, I'm expecting 3 more face-to-face confrontations. This was a really good segment, and I will say that Roman Reigns has looked pretty good in this.
Yeah.
And CM Punk, he's getting what he's asked for. I mean, at the end of the day, he's getting exactly what he asked for. He's rubbing it in all over Roman Reigns' face, and he just, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You're actually getting the Tribal Chief back.
Absolutely.
In the state that he is in right now. Look, the fact of the matter is, in my eyes, like, without even saying that they're fully back, dude, I'm saying it right here, right now, the OG bloodline of Roman and the Usos is officially fully back. Like, without even saying it, because obviously, you have this partnership here between Roman and the Usos, and they've been strong. They have been looking pretty good right now. At the grand scheme of things, Jey Uso has always been the right-hand man of Roman Reigns. When you were going through the entire bloodline
before main event Jey Uso. Yeah, before main event Jey Uso, he was right-hand man.
With Jey Uso getting in there, they did the whole Hell in a Cell match, and that's when Jimmy came back into the fold. They got the whole Usos back together with that. You did everything to a point where Jey Uso was that right-hand man. He was ultimately saying to Roman what really could be the best course of action here. Obviously, Paul Heyman was a wise man. He obviously put things together for Roman and the Usos, and guided them through everything. But he always looked towards Jey Uso as the right hand man. He did exactly everything that
Roman asked
Jey Uso asked him to do, and we saw the smashing, which is obviously the callback to what Roman was saying all those years ago during the Bloodline story, and it was just calling back to all of that. Now, you go into this thing for WrestleMania, and you have this World Heavyweight Championship match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I, for one, am still of the notion that we could most likely still see Roman Reigns walk out on top as the World Heavyweight Champion. Is it something that I want fully? No, because like you said, obviously CM Punk is here every single week, busting his ass, doing the thing, while Roman Reigns obviously on that more part-time of a schedule. And that's perfectly fine, because obviously Roman Reigns has gotten to that level to where he's got that level to where at the end of the day, he can do whatever he wants. But it's not the end of the world where we see this new OG bloodline come back into the fold. Because let's face it, when the WWE was at really a huge peak of itself within the creative line, the bloodline was at the forefront of that. The bloodline was the centerpiece of that. And forgive me if at the end of the day, WWE needs to bring back something relatively quote-unquote old now from years past in order to get some more intrigue into a feud that quite simply needs it. I think this is perfectly well intended to do so, and we've done some really good things up until this very point. Now, next week is going to be a very interesting situation, because people I've talked about this with other people in the past. And people were like, well, Phil, here's the thing. If Roman Reigns wasn't here, you would bitch, moan, and complain about him not even being here. What do you say to that? Well, here's what I have to say about that. CM Punk is CM Punk. At the end of the day, he is very capable of doing a week or two of build for this feud without having Roman Reigns there. They have added so many layers to this feud at the end of the day, to this very point, where you have the Usos a part of this now, where you have
I just want to mention
the entire family. Yes.
I want to mention real fast, Bill. I know that Roman's not going to be there every week. They released a schedule for him, so I know, like, after this week, I think he goes away for another week.
Yeah, I think we get like maybe I think we get two appearances. I think we get this week, then he misses out next week, and then
that last appearance.
For the, go home.
So but you are going to get that. You are going to get that 1 week where it is just solely on CM Punk to do something.
And the thing is, like, we've had up until this very point between Roman and Punk, that was probably the third time, because the last time it was just the Usos and him, so it wasn't even Roman. This was probably the third time, if anything. So if we get this one, that would be the fourth time in however many weeks that we've gotten this thing. And who knows how many times we're going to be seeing this up until the point where we finally do this. I just wish we got these spread out a little bit more, because if anything, like I said earlier, CM Punk is perfectly capable of doing something on his own while Roman Reigns is away. They've added so many layers to this point. It doesn't need to have Roman Reigns in there all the freaking time. You're going to run it dry if you keep doing this over and over and over again, especially when you're talking about the exact same thing every week, and it's just the same thing. You could have spread this out. You could have honestly done a little bit more in terms of just the intrigue of it all. I don't know how to feel about any of these two WrestleMania main events at this point. I think they went with the right calls in terms of what is going to be the main events for each night. But I feel like they just need to step it up. Otherwise, you're just going to continuously lose traction.
And that's why, in some case, I disagree with you in the sense of, like, this isn't like as big as it may seem. And I think on the surface level, it doesn't seem that big. It just feels like this regular match between Roman and Punk. We forget that no matter whether it's Vince McMahon or if it's Triple H at the helm of things, WWE will always be WWE on the surface level.
Yeah.
On the surface level, WWE loves to create moments. Now, those moments don't always show up on a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown. Most of the time, they show up at a place like WrestleMania, especially night 2, the last thing that we see on TV. I think that there is something bigger at play here. I mean, let's go back to the night 1 main event of last year when something bigger was at play. And exactly what happened. And we're talking about this year's WrestleMania. What does it look like? What's going to happen? Well, on the surface level, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, CM Punk might turn heel. No, he's not. Shut up. CM Punk doesn't need to be a heel right now. They don't have to go that direction. CM Punk damn sure doesn't need a faction. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
CM Punk just needs to win. And how does CM Punk win this match? How does CM Punk beat the head of the table? How does CM Punk beat the 2021 version of Roman Reigns? How does CM Punk beat the tribal chief? It's very simple. When you expose the tribal chief to understand that he's not actually the tribal chief. Do you guys remember a couple years ago, and Phil, I sent it to you over text message. I sent the video to Phil. It was a promo that happened on the build to WrestleMania 39. It was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes had actually looked at Roman Reigns, and he said, one day, your family's going to be gone. You're going to be a chief with no tribe. Yep. You are going to be Roman with no more reigns. And at first glance, when I listened to that promo so many years ago, I didn't really think too much of it until we talk about present day. You guys do understand that the Roman Reigns that we're seeing now, while yes, he gets cheered and, you know, the fans love him and all these things, Roman Reigns has actually never apologized for the things that he actually did wrong to somebody like Jimmy and somebody like Jay, two people who have been by his side thick and thin. Let's go all the way back to WrestlePalooza. Remember when they sat in the middle of the ring and he said, I don't want to see you until at least Christmas. And that didn't happen. And he's always constantly belittling them. And while, yes, I understand that they're family and these are things that you do, who do you think they're going to side with more? The one person who is real to their family and is not there belittling them or telling them these things? Or is it going to be the person that is constantly telling them, oh, you're wrong, you've done this, this, and this? No, dude, the bigger picture is The Rock. And WWE is not too far removed from the idea of Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 43, especially under the circumstance that it happens in Saudi Arabia. Let's be 1,000% honest with ourselves. Saudi is going to put in all the money that they possibly can to make sure that The Rock shows up. And you're going to find out at WrestleMania 42 that Saudi did exactly that. They put all the money that they possibly could have into the idea that The Rock is going to be there. Saudi Arabia, it will be the biggest main event of all time in pro wrestling history. You have 1 year to build it. That is long enough for them. You do things on the internet to sell it. You have them face off a couple times throughout the WWE knows what they're doing. This is bigger than CM Punk, which as a CM Punk fan, like myself, this sucks because guess who overshadows CM Punk once again?
Yeah.
The Rock. Do you think I want to say this shit?
Yeah, no.
No, I don't want to say this shit.
It's been so on the nose with what WWE has been doing over the course of the last couple of years. The fact of the matter is, guys, is that WWE loves that sweet Saudi money. The sweet Saudi money is, kind of like the lifeblood right now in terms of what WWE will have in store for WrestleMania 43. In Saudi Arabia, they made so much money just based on the deal that they are going to be having with Saudi Arabia over the course of the last decade, that they have been in partnership with them, and the fact now that WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia next year. Of course, they're going to go all out. Of course, they're going to try to do everything in order to make sure The Rock is there. The Rock versus Roman Reigns, in my eyes, is 1,000% happening at WrestleMania 43.
They couldn't have made it more. They couldn't have made it more simple for you to tell. I know people want to dive and dig and find as much as they can and understand. Man, here we go. They're gonna do this, 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 and this. Nah, brother, it's plain and simple in your face. It is right there for you to look at.
The last couple of years, they wanted Yokozuna on one of their shows for Saudi Arabia. Guys, Yokozuna's been gone from this earth for years.
It's been a while, brother.
He's been gone from this earth for years. So the fact that they just want basically anybody and everybody in terms of legends in this company to be a part of their shows. You don't think for 1 second
they want The Rock?
Yeah, of course they do. So it is obviously going to be.
I would not be surprised if next year we get Stone Cold Steve Austin and CM Punk.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either. And the thing is, when you sent me that promo on this past Tuesday, I went back in our chain to figure out what day it was. It was the day after everything that happened with the Roman Reigns and CM Punk promo. When I saw you send that, I sent the exact same words that Cody said. Jey Uso will leave you. Jimmy will leave you too. Solo, he will leave you. And then obviously Heyman will become an advocate again. He's been that. He's doing the stuff with Brock.
Kind of like all the things are falling into the place.
And then it's just Chief without a tribe. He's been without a tribe for the majority of the time up until this point where we finally had the Usos come back to him and do this. But
understand, they never really tied away from him.
Right, that's the
Remember
thing.
that.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, they may be with him now, but that doesn't mean he's going to be with him more for the long term or for what's really going to be happening for the future of what is to come now heading into WrestleMania 43 next year. I mean, we have so much to go over in terms of that span of the year. So we realistically do not know where the Usos will lie, but it's going to be a very interesting point to figure out. And not only that, where is Cody going to be at that point in time as well, considering the other side of the promo, which is the reason why he said what he said. Now, look, at the end of the day, this promo was very good between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. We got a lot more action than what I was thinking that we were ultimately going to be getting. We finally got the action that I was looking for out of this entire feud. Now, hopefully, they build upon this because they need to. They need to build upon this. The fact of the matter is, I'm very much looking forward to seeing CM Punk and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
It's going to be good.
It's a good match, and it's a good marquee match to have. But the fact of the matter is that if they do not, I repeat, if they do not live up to what they did this past promo and really try to make sure that things are upping the level each and every single time, you're gonna come into these situations where people will still be intrigued because it's CM Punk and Roman Reigns, but you got to keep the pressure going. Otherwise, you will have people lose faith, and you don't want that, especially so close to WrestleMania. So we'll figure it out, but that was a really good way to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, man, I agree 1000%. I agree. But, with all that being said, it is going to be interesting to see how WWE continues to move forward with this storyline, especially now that everything has happened the way that it has. It's going to be very interesting. I'll tell you what, it's good for what it is. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I'm not thinking too much out about it. Like it's fun. And I can appreciate fun. And I'm not going to hate WWE for trying to do something entertaining here. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. Now, how it lands, that's going to be important. But for now, I'll ride with WWE on the way to WrestleMania and see how this plays out. But obviously, this isn't the only thing that happened in pro wrestling. There's other things that happen in pro wrestling. And one of those things is AEW Dynamite. We would actually see... we seen Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland, which they had an hour time limit, and they opened up the show. And it was by far a phenomenal match. I think some would say even better than the first. Now, on what level that is, I'm not 100% sure. That's not for me to decide. That is up for you guys to decide whether or not it was better than the first. But here's the truth. This match was for the number one contendership. The winner would continue or win the number one contendership shot against MJF at Dynasty. And then the winner would also be the EVP or lose the EVP spot. Yeah. So there were two things that were both on the line. It was the EVP spot and the number one contendership. Kenny Omega would ultimately win this match, and he is still the EVP. And he also won the number one contendership shot for MJF's AEW World Championship at this, I think it's like in 2 weeks in Dynasty, in 2 weeks. And, just real fast, there were other things on AEW Dynamite, but I am going to fast forward a little bit over to... This
was easily the most important thing on the show.
Yeah, it was.
I'll just say that right now. I mean, not much realistically happened after that. So.
Right, exactly.
And they kicked off with which I thought was going to be the main event, but they just kicked off with it instead.
So we ended up seeing Kenny Omega come out and confront MJF, who had just returned, and obviously he talked a lot of shit about Hangman, and I'm pretty sure he's somewhere right now still saying the word ever. MJF is. He's somewhere not here.
He said ever a lot of times.
Yeah, he's still saying it somewhere.
For whatever reason, how Jericho used to say ever and ever. I was like, dude, are we really is that now a tease for Jericho? I mean, we haven't seen Jericho in months, but I mean, they've done teases for Jericho in WWE. Now they had MJF say the ever thing on AEW. At this point in time, I realistically do not care where Jericho shows up, if he even shows up at all at this point.
Yeah.
But that was the first inkling that I thought of when I heard him say ever over and over and over again. But I mean, I digress.
But they had this segment. They coined it I mean, they might as well have coined it. I don't know if they necessarily did, but obviously they're going with the devil versus the god, which that's awesome. When you think about that, like that's so cool because Kenny Omega, he's been known as the wrestling god, like which that's a fair thing. He talked about how he's never been the one to say that, even as a bad guy, he didn't say that, because he never thought he was above anybody or anything like that. But right now, because we're talking about the devil, guess what? Now I am the god. Now I am the wrestling god. Now I am the guy that is going to defeat you. Now, he talked about how, he faced Kenny Omega at a 60% back on, what was it, Collision years ago or whatever.
I was there.
Oh, were you?
I was there for that Collision. It was in Connecticut here.
Oh, no shit. So he talked about how he faced him at 60% and he could... He beat him, right? MJF beat him. Yeah. So MJF barely beat a 60%.
It was for the title. It was the first reign that MJF had as the world champion.
Correct. I remember that.
Yeah.
So they had their promo back and forth, and now obviously Kenny Omega is saying all of this shit. And were people expecting Maxwell Jacob Friedman to go back and forth with Kenny Omega after he just spewed out his guts? You thought MJF was going to sit there and just spew his guts back? Absolutely not. That man, he went to go shake his hand. I'll see you later, brother.
Which I will kind of push back in saying MJF phoned it in on Wednesday. And I think that was kind of the wrong move. If you know that you cannot have somebody go to the level that you can on the microphone, I'm not saying that Kenny Omega and what he said in that promo after the match was bad in any way, but we all know MJF can talk a lot better than what he did in that segment.
The problem is that Kenny Omega, he's a good wrestler. He's not great on the mic.
That's right. So that's what I'm saying. If you know somebody that you're going up against cannot hang with you on the mic, go at him. Get at him.
Well,
literally,
okay.
Not try to bury him in a sense.
No, right. I think that's the worry.
Omega. No, that. You're not trying to bury him in a sense, because it's goddamn Kenny Omega, and you want Kenny Omega to look credible in this.
Yeah, MJF going out there and just putting this guy through hell is probably not the best time. Calling him fucking. He say some wild shit.
But you can't just phone it in. You can't just pull it back just to meet up to the standards of them. At the end of the day, go up to that level higher so that at the end of the day, I want you to meet me at my level. Do your best, because if you're not, I am going.
Well, here's the problem though. Here's the problem is Kenny Omega is going to wrestle circles around MJF. And don't let me say circles. MJF is don't let me say that. MJF is a good pro wrestler. MJF is a good pro wrestler. But obviously Kenny is a better.
He's a lot better than what people think he is. The fact of the matter is, MJF does not get the credit that he deserves in the ring because of how good he is on the microphone. The fact of that,
I think that's fair.
He is a very, very good in-ring worker. But the fact of the matter is, we all know him to be that mic guy, because at the end of the day, he demolishes anybody that he gets into the ring with on that microphone. So to say that he's going to wrestle circles around MJF, I don't believe so for a single second, because those two are not only going to bring their very best out of each other in that ring, but MJF, he's gonna look really good in there. Everybody and their mother said that Bryan Danielson was gonna wrestle circles around that man in that 60-minute Iron Man match, and that was probably one of the best 60-minute Iron Man matches that I've ever seen in the world of professional wrestling. Not just in AEW, not just in WWE, but to me, in my time of watching wrestling, that was easily one of the best Iron Man matches that I have ever seen. MJF is a very good in-ring wrestler. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yeah, so like I said, just definitely retracting that statement of wrestling circles. But now I see everybody in the chat. Billy, MJF is a great... He sucks. What now?
MJF is a great wrestler, yes.
Yeah, what now? What if I say he sucks? I'm kidding. MJF doesn't suck. I'm just giving you guys a hard time.
I'll get MJF to talk to you personally. I'll buy whatever cameo he has.
Tell that Long Island Sound to call me, baby. This is Detroit. You want to cook somebody? Oh, brother, I got something for you. You think MJF can cut a promo? Wait. I bought a microphone for a reason. I bought a microphone because I'm better on the mic. You see this? I'm hot.
I'll buy that cameo.
Yeah,
I'll buy that
it.
cameo
Tell him, come at me. Tell everything I got. Call me fat. Call me this. I want it. Oh, I'll bury Max.
Oh, wait, never mind. I ain't gonna buy shit. That cameo is $660. I ain't doing that now.
Yeah, see, Andy taxes. You can't even afford them.
But
it ain't even worth it.
No, it's not.
No, I'm kidding. I am genuinely kidding, everybody. Hey, listen. MJF is great. I am just giving him a hard time. MJF is a phenomenal pro wrestler. I'm with everybody here. I'm just giving him a hard time.
I think the match is going to be absolutely fantastic at Dynasty. And the thing is, I believe there's a world where MJF loses the title? No, I don't. I think MJF wins this not handily, but he'll retain this.
Hold on, New York piece is better than Detroit piece. Get out of here, bro. What? Oh my God, Johnny. Who is that? I think that's your boy, Phil.
Yeah, shout out, boy Johnny. Yeah.
He said New York pizza is better than Detroit pizza, brother. Come to Detroit, come talk to me. No, it's not. But real side. The real side of these things is there's a bigger thing here for MJF, and that bigger thing is obviously, I think, Will Ospreay. You know what I mean? Yes. I think the story, I think the story at play is we seen Will Ospreay called out Moxley. They're getting that match at Dynasty. That was obviously some really good stuff between Moxley and Ospreay. I don't want to just kind of fly over that. That should be known. What they did is amazing. For anybody who doesn't know, Ospreay up there. He's up there on the list. It goes CM Punk, Ospreay, like neck and neck. Those are my two guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. 100%. But this is definitely all being made for Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
And All In.
He's to me winning the Owen.
So here's the thing is I think they're about to have MJF go through the list of things that Will Ospreay has done. Think about it for a moment. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, when we talk about Will Ospreay, who has had the best matches with Will Ospreay?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It was Kenny. It was Kenny. So they're about to make MJF go on the list of people that Will Ospreay has probably faced off against. We'll probably see him and Kyle Fletcher as well, who obviously Will Ospreay has. I think that's the Double or Nothing match. I think it's going to be Kyle Fletcher and MJF because I think eventually we're going to have to do that. But the truth is they have that happen. That way it ties into the Will Ospreay story to eventually have Will and MJF at All In. It's great for TV. It's great for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I know it's something that I really want to see. I'm behind Will Ospreay 1000% for All In winning the championship. And I think MJF holds it till then. Takeshita, absolutely.
Yeah. The thing is with me, when it comes down to MJF's reign, I do not want to see that man lose that championship until somebody is worthy enough to take it.
And there is a person. It's just Will Ospreay.
It is Will Ospreay. And the thing is, like, that's what I personally think. I think Will Ospreay wins the Owen so that he can get that shot at AEW All In. That's normally how things go. They had the Owen final last year at Double or Nothing. I do believe that's most likely just going to be the exact same pathway they do with that. And we got Dynasty, we got Double or Nothing, and then we got All In. So you got a lot of way to go through this. The C2, that's a whole other different story, man. And the fact of the matter is,
who wins the C2?
I don't even. No, like at this point in time, like when
the problem is like, yeah, we could talk about the C2, but it's like
that's not even happening until like the end of the year,
right? And not only
that's not happening until World's End time.
Not only that, but that championship isn't even on the same level like it was supposed to be as the AEW World Title. It's not like whoever wins the C2,
nothing.
No, it means nothing. It's just I'm being honest here. Like I don't mean to shit all over it.
It's literally just a prop.
That
at this
it
point.
is. It is. It's just for looks. Like, oh yeah, look at everything I've accomplished. The TNT title holds more value than that thing.
Yeah, and I would go to say the international one as well. Now,
Yeah.
the one title that realistically never meant a single thing was that national championship, and that
Hell
national
no.
title is not gonna
I
mean
don't even know
anything
what
anyway.
AEW's evil for giving somebody that championship.
Well, that national title was literally only made for that one person. That one.
Yeah.
They literally just made that title so that Ricochet can hold on to that championship. And now it's Jack Perry. And I like Jack Perry and all. I'm probably one of the only ones that actually do like that, man.
Nah. There's people that like Jack Perry. I hate Jack Perry, but
like myself and maybe a few select others maybe like that kid. But the fact of the matter is, even with him holding that championship, it's not going to mean anything. So I mean, there's not much that realistically anybody can do in terms of that, in terms of like the prestige of all these titles. But the fact of the matter is, MJF, he should not be losing this championship anytime soon. If anything, I can definitely see a match against Kyle Fletcher. I want to see a match between him and Andrade. I do.
Yeah,
I want to see a match between him and Andrade.
Especially because of everything that they did with the Don Callis family and stuff like that. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if Grand Slam Mexico happens sometime in between Dynasty and All In, and like at some point in between that time, we get Grand Slam Mexico once again, because Grand Slam Mexico 2026 is going to be happening. Tony Khan did say that, they will return to Mexico for Grand Slam.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I like the fact of the matter is that's a perfect destination to get Andrade into the world title picture. Do Andrade versus MJF at Grand Slam Mexico, and even though MJF would most likely just retain that anyway because of All In being so short after that.
Right.
Who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a great thing for Andrade to be in there, and Andrade has had a resurgence of her coming back to AEW. So
yeah, they really did. They really are doing right by Andrade, which is really nice to see. But
yeah,
through and through, I mean, that was probably the biggest take homes away from AEW were those couple things. I mean, there was a little bit of mention of Proto Sheeta, which is always nice. We seen the dogs take on the conglomeration. There were a couple things, Tekla, obviously, and the brass knuckles and stuff like that.
They're doing this weird thing right now between Kenny Omega and Speedball Mike Bailey. That to me was a very weird thing.
They remind me a lot of each other, which is really weird. There's a lot of resemblance there, I think, with personality and everything like that, Kenny and Speedball. So I think that'll be cool, later down the line.
And let's not forget, Roosh was on television finally.
Roosh did make it to television. And last week, I just found out that Roosh and Dragon Lee are brothers.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm still mind blown by that.
And Drolistico.
Right.
Too. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm a little mind blown right now. But yeah, Roosh did make it on TV. He actually main evented.
He had the main event match against Darby Allin, and then after that, that's when the whole Don Callis family just demolished Darby. Correct. And that's when Andrade said, look, at the end of the day, I want the world title. But I mean, do we even really need to do this at the end of the day? Like, I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting too, because now with what Don Callis has kind of done with this whole partnership with MJF to try to take care of Darby Allin, because Darby's got a hit on him. The fact of the matter is, I mean, we're seeing two guys in the grand scheme of things from the Don Callis family that ultimately are not doing the things that the Don Callis family have been wanting to do. No. Konosuke Takeshita, he's on his way out of the Don Callis family.
Absolutely.
And Andrade, he doesn't want to do what the Don Callis family has done in terms of like just the attacks that have been happening here.
Yep.
So, is there a world where we could possibly see Andrade through all of the mega popularity he's gone through over the course of him coming back to AEW? Is there a world where we see him get out of the Don Callis family? I think there is.
Yeah, there's definitely a world. I think just the idea that Takeshita leaves is just an opening that, okay, like you said, maybe somebody like Andrade ends up out the door. I don't know. I don't see Andrade with this Don Callis family stuff very long. I think Andrade is really getting over in AEW, which that's great. I'm glad somebody found a way to get Andrade over like he deserved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are loving the things that he's doing, the stuff with the girls in the front row and all these different things.
Ripping his pants off. It's
Sure.
literally so over.
Sure. As long as it's getting over on television and people are enjoying it, more power to you. It doesn't matter what it is, just as long as it's working. So eventually, I do think that Andrade will pull away. Now, AEW, they had a show. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're building towards Dynasty right now. But we're going to kind of segue back into what was last night, which was Friday night SmackDown. And I can't. I think I can go till around 6:45, Phil. So I'm just going to kind of give you a time limit there.
Yeah. And Nats, before I even say anything, I do watch TNA. The fact of the matter is, I mean, at the end of the day, I think TNA is doing some solid things right now, but I mean, they're kind of not really the main priority for me because obviously AEW and WWE are doing so many good things, especially with the road to WrestleMania. So I watch them. They just got to keep doing their own thing. That's all.
Yeah, well, they signed Ricky Sosa, so
which is a great thing.
Yeah, so. We could talk about it for a second. Last night, that happened last night too. They signed Ricky Sosa. Now the problem is that TNA has a very bad history of not doing right by certain people and having numerous opportunities to I don't know, create stars. And they just don't. And now they have somebody in Ricky Sosa, and maybe under new management, which obviously they have now, maybe under new management, we can see Ricky Sosa become a actual star in TNA because he has all the ideas of what a star should be. But I don't want to spend too much time on that, but they did sign Ricky Sosa, and I think that's great for TNA. And, now they have a new contender when it comes down to the X Division and also the TNA World Championship. A lot of things that TNA can do. They had Steve Macklin and oh my God, I'm having a blank. Steve Macklin and
Mike Santana's
Mike Santana. Oh my God, I don't know why I was blanking like that. Yes, they're world champion.
All the very best to Steve Macklin, though he did get hurt last night in the main event, so hopefully he recovers well.
So last night we seen Steve Macklin and Santana. I think it went to a no contest, which is dumb to me, but it is what it is.
It was no contest because they had to throw the X. It was that serious of an injury. Yeah.
Was it? Hold on. Pull back. Pull back.
Got hurt.
Was it Macklin who got hurt?
Yeah, it was Macklin.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Macklin.
I thought it just went to no contest because it went to no contest.
No. They threw up the X. The referee got in between them.
Thank you.
She threw up the X, and they called off the match because of the injury.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. We haven't heard anything in terms of what the injury is or whatever, but she threw up the X.
Okay. Well, that's all right and understood. X was thrown up. Now I'm gonna stop talking about it. But obviously we watched SmackDown. That was kind of the main takeaway. Last night SmackDown happened and it was a fucking disaster.
Hot crossed buns.
I mean, it was so bad. It was disgustingly bad. There was nothing that WWE could potentially do to save this show. I'm not even going to sit here and give it any type of credit because it does not deserve it. Last week, we watched SmackDown and we said, oh man, now do you think that maybe Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes could potentially main event night 2? Fuck no. Not a shot. Not
anymore.
No, it's not even in the same realm of what Punk and Roman are doing. It's not. But even with that being said, it is still good for what it's worth. They had a bad week. I'm not going to put too much of it on them. But, bro, everything that could have went wrong in this show, I think there were 2 things that were massive takeaways.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Look, I didn't even want to give SmackDown the time of day when I wanted to like make content for the show. Like the thing is, like I only made, and this is unprecedented for me because normally I find at least something to talk about and it's like own separate video or whatever, or like its own short. I made one short for Friday Night SmackDown last night. That's it. Now, of course, I talked multiple things in that one short. I talked about the Sammy winning the US title. I talked about obviously the worst brawl to ever have the history of of brawls, and and maybe one more thing. I can't remember what it was right now, but I mean, I talked about multiple things in that one short because obviously there were some things to talk about. It was not the greatest show, but they gave us at least something to talk about. Look, I'll just start with this. Sami Zayn winning the United States Championship. I love the guy. I do. But I feel like WWE has no idea how to book this character right now because they simply don't know where to put this guy. You had him go through this entire thing of him becoming a world champion, right? Then all of a sudden, you have him talk to Randy Orton and say, at the end of the day, what do I need to do to get over this goddamn hump? Randy says, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to listen to, you know, what's inside your head and like ultimately take advantage of situations that are given to you. And he did on Friday, which is the reason why he is now the new United States champion. And I get that there's progression in terms of that. But did we really need Sammy versus Trick for the United States Championship? That was always going to be the plan. But it didn't technically need the United States Championship attached to it. I still think that there is a world where we could see a triple threat in this thing, or even a possible fatal four-way if they want Ilya Dragunov in the mix. And honestly, those two matches will be great. Those two matches would be great, whether it's a triple threat or the fatal four-way. But did they really need to take the title off of Carmelo Hayes in order to make that happen? I don't think so.
I'll be honest with you. You know, Sammy winning the U.S. title wouldn't be such a problem if the title had an identity. The title doesn't have an identity. You know, the title does nothing for people. Like Carmelo, nothing's going to happen to him now that he's lost the championship. Normally, let's say like Gunther, for instance, with the Intercontinental Championship, he lost it. That obviously elevated him to the main event scene. You know, Carmelo isn't going to go and be on the next way to main event, you know, Clash in Italy or whatever it is that WWE is doing. Like, he's not on his way there because he lost the United States Championship. No, they'll probably just have him feud with Trick Williams, and then that'll be its own thing. Sammy, it wouldn't be such an issue if this title genuinely had an identity. It's not, it doesn't do anything for a superstar. It really hasn't since somebody like John Cena, who actually brought elevation to the championship. You know how people say, you know, the person makes the title. John Cena made that title, and he really made it something special.
In 2015, when
correct,
you know, that title really had no identity to it.
You're right, and it had just even before then, 2004, even, you know, walking around with the spinner. You know, Cena genuinely gave that title life, and after that, it just kind of fell through the cracks, and it never really was able to find the surface level like the Intercontinental Championship has over on Monday Night Raw. But that's WWE's fault. You know what I'm saying? That's on WWE to actually add pristine to this title.
And I don't think it probably would have had that. Trust me, there would still be outrage for Sammy winning the US title. But this also got leaked way before Friday Night SmackDown even got on the air last night. The result of the United States Championship changing hands to Sami Zayn got leaked before the whole entire show even happened. They even had it on X's like news feed or whatever. So even if you tried to get out of it,
see it, right?
Even if you tried to not see any spoilers, you couldn't, because it was absolutely plastered everywhere. Now, I wasn't on Twitter the entire day, so I had no idea what the heck people were talking about when he came down to, like, if this spoiler happens on Friday Night SmackDown, all right. Like, what spoiler? I didn't know. And I wasn't going to be looking out for it either. But then all of a sudden, I see Sami Zayn win the United States Championship. I wasn't mad at it, but I was like, okay.
Right.
That's weird. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I do not think that we're done with this yet, because we got 3 weeks left who's to say that we still can't get a triple threat or a fatal four-way out of this anyway?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, and maybe WWE does something with it. Obviously, it was Sammy taking an opportunity that was handed to him and running with it. That's nice. You know what I mean? Not too mad about it. And then I'll just kind of hint at the one thing that really rubbed me wrong. It was Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. That was horrible. I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that. It was very bad. Was not good at all.
Nah, this was not good. You guys already know from my side of things in terms of like the last rooms or whatever. I do not care a single bit for this trio of B-Fad, Michin, and Jade Cargill. You guys know how I feel about Jade Cargill and this reign for the Women's Championship. And to be completely honest, guys, B-Fab and Michin, for, the sake of not realistically knowing what else to say other than the fact that they're losers. They are.
Yeah,
They've been presented as losers the entire time since getting into the ring. I love Michin and I love what she brings to the table. She's a great wrestler. But in terms of what she does in the ring or whatever,
and is being presented on TV,
pretty much loses every single week. So what am I supposed to think?
Yeah, she's some type of superstar.
And not only that, but they were just continuously interrupting each other in terms of the promo that they were doing. And not only that, but Rhea Ripley didn't do much of for them much of favors either when she was just in the ring kind of laughing at what was happening. And that
correct
when they were fumbling over their words. So it just really was all over the place bad.
Yeah, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. Just know that was that did not help WWE's situation at all. That shit was butt cheeks. But then, it kind of all ties into one. We seen Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll.
Worse.
We seen Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll. They faced off. It was a good match for what it was worth. Shout out to Jelly Roll. He wrestled on a random Friday Night SmackDown,
which was not bad.
No,
it was not. That right now, it was not as bad as people thought that it was.
No,
okay.
No, Jelly Roll, he did everything that he needed to do, and he did it the right way, and he pursued this with passion, with love. He really cared for that ring, which is very nice to see. It's always nice when these, the superstars, which is what they are, they come into this business and they treat it with care as it rightfully should be. Jelly Roll, and shout out to Kit Wilson too, because Kit Wilson definitely did the job for Jelly Roll and really helped him as much as he possibly could. And Kit Wilson did tremendous in that role. Kit is obviously somebody who is normally a tag team guy. He's out there helping a genuine superstar in Jelly Roll. So I want to give both of those guys as much credit as they possibly can, because as a viewer and as a fan, that was a lot of fun to watch. It was enjoyable, and I'm not going to shit on that because it was good for what it was. Now, my issue comes later through the night, where the reason why I started with Jelly Roll is because later in the night we would see Jelly Roll, but beforehand we seen Matt Cardona and Randy Orton face off, and the match itself was fine. Randy Orton would obviously win. A lot of people thought that maybe Matt Cardona is about to get punted. There was a lot of things kind of running, but just really randomly, like Matt Cardona just left the ring and just lost. Which, whatever, I won't think too much about it. Earlier or right before that, Jelly Roll had a little segment with Matt Cardona where he announced that Cody Rhodes was going to be returning and he was on his way. And sure enough, after Randy Orton beat Matt Cardona, he's seen him. You would see Cody's bus pull up, and on the surface, it looks like it's about to be some good shit, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, my bad. The Angle Crew moonlighting. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Yeah,
we'll move on.
I'll know that's my guy, but okay. So my bad.
This was honestly it looked like it was going to go really well, in terms of just the way that they were presenting and everything. The fact of the matter is, we saw Cody come out of his bus, and he was going to make a beeline for Randy because of everything that happened with the attack.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just got 8 to 10 minutes of a brawl that seemed like it was never going to end, because it felt like they were just biding time until that one person came up. and that was
Facts.
Jelly. But Miles with the super chat. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, my man Miles with a $2 super chat. He said, "It feels the women's title has lost its prestige. Do you agree?" Phil, I'll let you start real fast. Do you
Well,
feel that it has?
in this feud, especially with the fact of the matter of Jade Cargill holding on to this championship for however long she's held it since November, and she's only defended it twice, the second time being at WrestleMania. Yeah, they definitely need to step up to prestige in my eyes for sure. And hopefully Rhea Ripley, who for God's sake, I actually hope wins this thing.
Yeah.
She would be able to do that for sure. I'm not
Yeah.
wasting time for Bianca Belair to come back. Rhea needs to win this title.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Man, I'll tell you what. On the surface level, yeah, it feels like it has lost its prestige. I definitely always felt like this was a match that was meant for Charlotte Flair and not so much Rhea Ripley. I felt like Charlotte was supposed to go into this match and potentially win it. Obviously, I understand the things between, you know, Alexa and Charlotte, and they need to get that story kind of through and through.
I
But
personally, I think this was Bianca. This was supposed to be Bianca.
sure, yeah,
And
that's another great option.
because she wasn't able to be ready for the Rumble or heck,
Hmm.
even the Elimination Chamber, they went with the next best thing. And then obviously Rio won the Elimination Chamber to get
Correct.
there. So I do think this is all for Bianca, but she ain't ready yet. And
No.
I have no idea when she will be.
Yeah, but I mean, on the surface level, Miles, yes, I do feel that because of where we are at in this situation, it has most definitely lost its prestige. Now, I'm going to set that off to the side. Guys, I'm sorry. I do have to get off. I have to go feed my stepdaughter. She needs to eat dinner. So I got to get out of here. But
look, the brawl was bad. Okay, it was the brawl. The brawl was just absolutely disgusting. They need to step it up, and trust me, a match that realistically could have been the main event of WrestleMania if they really wanted to. They've done nothing but bad favors in terms of what this feud could have been. So, Cody and Randy, this is not their fault. I want to say that right now. This is not their fault. And I truly did think that Jelly Roll was going to be that freaking phone guy that Randy was talking about.
Yeah, so did I. I genuinely thought that Jelly Roll was going to be the person.
But he's not. He got RKO'd, which is fine. It was overdue. But I mean, we'll see what happens. They just really need to step it up within the next 3 weeks. Otherwise, we're really going to be looking at
they're gonna lose an audience for this main event, and that's not good. WWE doesn't want that to happen. But guys, I mean, we killed it today. I mean, there's I think there's like 25 people in my chat right now. So shout out to all you guys that tuned in. Shout out to everybody who's watching over on Phil's channel as well. You guys are all appreciated just as much. Guys, we will be back next week. Phil, they're demanding more of us, brother. I don't know what you're going to do about it, but they're demanding more of us, and they want to see more of us.
We will do the best we possibly can every single weekend to try to give you guys the best thing possible. We have done so much over the course of the last few weeks to try to get things together. And guys, yes, I have gotten messages before. That 2K26 giveaway is still happening. It's still gonna happen. I think Billy and I will just have to get some things squared away or whatever. But yes, that 2K26 giveaway is still going to happen. Just be patient with us, and we'll get that all squared away when we can. So
yeah, I see. I just want to read off a couple chats. I see John Lawson. He said you two need to keep this up, John, my boy. That's my guy, John. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know it. Boris says, Billy, I've just seen you on Omer's channel. More, please, bro. Absolutely, Boris. Shout out to my boy Omer too. That's my guy. Big on, baby. Big on. But man, yeah, no, guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump off now, and just thank you for everybody who's tuned in. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the show. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed us too. Given our little takes on pro wrestling as much as we possibly can. But guys, my name is Billy TKO. If you're new, I ask that you guys like and subscribe to the channel. I also ask if you guys have not, because I know that there are people in here, to go check out Phil. It's at Phil Ouimette, and that's Ouimette. on YouTube. Go check him out. Go give him a little like and a subscribe. Do all the same things that you've done over here, over there. Go show him some love because he definitely deserves it. You guys will be able to find clips of the podcast over on my channel. You'll find them on Phil's channel. Also on TikTok, you can find me there. You can also find Phil on TikTok as well. We're kind of all over the place. All our links are linked in our channels. And yeah, I don't want to spend too much time just kind of plugging us here. But Phil, you got anything?
Appreciate you guys as always. I did drop a video today, the video on Gunther that I was talking to you guys about. It is uploaded on the channel as of right now. I did upload it about an hour and a half ago, so please go check that out. Talked about Gunther. Where the heck is he? What could WWE possibly be doing with him? And I laid out a scenario to where if WWE still wants to use him for WrestleMania, this could be the best possible way to do it. So go check that out. It's on the channel right now. But guys, that's it for me. That is it for Belay. I don't mean to continuously rhyme, but here we are. And, you know, the fact of the matter is I will be live for WWE 2K content tomorrow. So, so stay tuned for that. I want to do the women's My Rise. So
there you go.
I will do that for tomorrow, and I will see you guys then. But guys, have a good one. We'll see you guys next weekend. Whatever day. Just be patient with it. We'll figure it out.
Right.
And we will see you guys then. So have a good one.
That sounds good. John, go blue, baby.
Peace.